Now what's going on is simple. We use the resources we have right now to build more terminals. As we have over 1,000 terminals, it's quite a challenge to have them all in stock. But due to clever product management, like from Sina, we have such a nice portfolio that we can manage all the terminals in-house. I will now pick a couple of them and I will ask you for your expertise what do we have right now. And the first
right.
one I picked even up front is the BK1120. So what is this for product?
So a coupler is always the head of an I/O station, and we have more than 25 different couplers in our portfolio, and they differ, like the transmission physics, if you use copper or fiber optics, and they also have additional functionalities like additional digital I/Os. And the coupler you chose is to connect the field bus independent K-bus terminals to the EtherCAT system. This is a I/O system we introduced back in 1995, so very old system.
Oh, so it's the terminal system of the first generation, basically, which can still be integrated into EtherCAT.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so that was easy. Let's get a little challenge going on now. Next here in yellow is all the digital inputs, and I can see here like the 1001 or 2, this is 2 inputs, but now it's 1809. But does this have 9 inputs now, or what is the 9 standing for?
No, this has 16 channels, 16
Okay.
digital inputs, and the digital inputs are our high runner
Yeah.
products for sure. So you have a much more higher density of channels with this terminal, which is very good in terms of pricing and also the space, because it's still just 12 millimeters for 16 channels. And in our digital input portfolio, we also have additional functionalities, like for example, a terminal where you have precise timestamps for all your edge changes.
Well, I think usually you would think a digital input is a digital input. No, it's not true. There are tons of different ones.
Right.
Okay, so we got one. Let's move on to the analog world, because I see everything here in green is more or less analog, and I want to get the, it's on the bottom. Yes, thank you for that. Here we go. Now, this has the same size, but it's now called the EL3443. So what is the special function of this terminal?
Yeah, I mean, this terminal looks nearly the same as the
Yeah.
digital input, but it's a totally different one. It's a measurement terminal for power measurement.
Okay.
So we can measure the current and the voltage of every phase of the system, and we can pre-process it in the terminal so that we can get up to more than 400 different values from the system. And we also have a special functionality called distributed power measurement. So we can measure the voltage on the one side of the machine and the current on a totally different part of the machine with 2 different terminals. But because of our EtherCAT distributed clock system, these terminals are so good synchronized that we have real power values that can be calculated.
Wow, it seems to me that this is a terminal which belongs to every good household.
Yeah,
All right. I think it gives good indication about the machine status as well.
right.
So we can encourage, of course, customers to use this. Okay, digital, analog. Now let's take some special functions, because I noticed when we talk about the performance of EtherCAT, that EtherCAT has such a performance that we can underline other networks.
Yeah.
Let's take one here for CANopen. Now, it looks a little bit different, and it calls CANopen. So what is this all about?
Yeah, this looks a little bit different, but can be plugged to the whole other system. With this terminal, for example, we can connect any CANopen device or any part of the machine with CANopen that has no independent EtherCAT interface, but this is also possible for other communication systems like Profibus, Profinet, Ethernet IP, and so on and so on. Because of the performance, as you already mentioned, we have the possibility to connect nearly every communication system to our EtherCAT world.
Wow. And then when we talk about performance, we have to take a look also to our very special modules. It's going back into the metal world. This is a little bit my hometown. Let's take the ELM 7231, perfectly arranged here on the wall. Now we have a metal housing, and this has very special functions integrated. I think we need to lift up the curtain for this.
Yeah, right. So this metal housing is used for the high precision measurement terminals, but also for the compact motion with very high output powers. So this one is a servo motor terminal, which up to 1 kilowatts of output power. So very much for a 30 millimeter housing.
1 kilowatt power integrated in this small housing.
Integrated in the I/O strand, so also can be plugged to the other systems.
Okay.
And also the safety functionality is already integrated in the terminal with STO or safe motion functionalities.
Wow. Well, Zina, these were 4 minutes with Zina for 5 terminals. We have more than 1,000.
Yeah.
So if you have the whole day time, we could just continue and talking about terminals, but time comes to an end. So thank you, Zina, for your expertise and your information.